The UK faces a housing crisis. This isn't news. For years, the alarm bells have been ringing, growing louder with each passing year. The dream of owning a home is slipping out of reach for many. Young people face a rental market with sky-high prices and insecurity. Families struggle in overcrowded or substandard housing. The shortage of affordable housing is dire. It's a crisis that demands urgent, effective solutions. Building on the green belt has emerged as a supposed solution. Proponents argue it's essential to meet the UK's housing needs. However, this argument is flawed. Building on the green belt is not a solution, it's a distraction. The green belt serves a vital purpose. It acts as a buffer, preventing urban sprawl and promoting sustainable development. Sacrificing this land would have far-reaching consequences. Building on the green belt would not address the root causes of the housing crisis. At the heart of the housing crisis lies a fundamental imbalance of power. A handful of large developers wield enormous influence over the housing market, prioritizing profit maximization over the needs of communities. These companies, driven by shareholder demands and a relentless pursuit of growth, have little incentive to build genuinely affordable homes or to address the systemic issues plaguing the housing market. One of the most egregious tactics employed by developers is land banking. This involves acquiring land with planning permission and then deliberately delaying construction. By artificially restricting supply, developers can drive up prices, maximizing their profits at the expense of those desperate for housing. This practice is widespread and deeply damaging, yet successive governments have failed to implement effective measures to curb it. The focus on building on the green belt plays directly into the hands of developers. Land in the green belt is highly sought after, often commanding premium prices. Opening up this land for development would be a windfall for developers, allowing them to build lucrative high-end housing while neglecting the urgent need for affordable homes. Section 4. The affordability abyss. Out of reach and out of options. The concept of affordable housing has become increasingly meaningless in the UK. What is often marketed as affordable is anything but, with prices set at a percentage of market rates that remain out of reach for many. The current system is designed to benefit developers and investors, not those struggling to find a decent place to live. Young people in particular are bearing the brunt of this affordability crisis. Saddled with student debt and facing stagnant wages, they are often priced out of both homeownership and the private rental sector. Many are forced to live with parents for longer, delaying major life milestones or resorting to precarious living situations. The lack of genuinely affordable housing has profound consequences. It exacerbates inequality, limits opportunities, and undermines social mobility. It creates a two-tier society where those with wealth and assets can secure a comfortable future, while those without are left to struggle in an increasingly precarious and unforgiving housing market. Section 5. Beyond the green belt. Real solutions for a housing future. Addressing the housing crisis requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of succumbing to the allure of quick fixes like building on the green belt, we need to focus on long-term solutions that prioritize the needs of communities and create a fairer, more sustainable housing system. Investing in the redevelopment of brownfield sites is essential. These often overlooked areas within existing urban boundaries offer significant potential for new housing, revitalizing communities and reducing pressure on green spaces. However, developing brownfield sites can be more complex and costly than building on greenfield land. Incentives and support are needed to encourage developers to prioritize these projects and unlock their full potential. Furthermore, we need to challenge the dominance of large developers and empower smaller, community-led housing initiatives. These groups, driven by social purpose rather than profit maximization, are better positioned to deliver the diverse, affordable housing options desperately needed. Section 6. Empowering communities. Local control, local solutions. A key element of any successful housing strategy is ensuring that communities have a meaningful say in shaping their own neighborhoods. Local authorities, with their understanding of local needs and priorities, should be empowered to make planning decisions that reflect the unique character and requirements of their communities. The current planning system, often criticized for being bureaucratic and opaque, needs to be reformed to be more transparent, accessible, and responsive to the needs of communities. This includes giving local residents a greater voice in planning decisions, ensuring that their concerns are heard and addressed. Furthermore, we need to strengthen the role of social housing. Building more council homes, owned and managed by local authorities, is crucial to providing secure, affordable housing for those priced out of the private market. This requires a significant investment in social housing construction, reversing years of underfunding and neglect. Section 7. A call to action: building a fairer, sustainable housing system. The UK's housing crisis is a complex challenge, but it is not insurmountable. By rejecting simplistic solutions like building on the green belt and instead focusing on long-term sustainable approaches, we can create a housing system that works for everyone. This requires a fundamental shift in priorities. We need to move away from the current model that prioritizes profit over people and embrace a more equitable and sustainable approach to housing. This means challenging the power of large developers, investing in genuinely affordable housing, empowering communities, and protecting our precious green spaces. The time for action is now. The longer we wait, the worse the crisis will become. We owe it to ourselves, to future generations, and to the environment to build a fairer, more sustainable housing system that meets the needs of all.